Hello everybody and welcome to chapter 17 of the book of Shemot as we continue to travel through Tanach. Chapter 17 has 16 verses and it starts in the Koren Sachs Chumash on page 478 and 479. This chapter picks up the story from the previous chapter and it contains two dramatic moments during the Israelites' early journey through the wilderness. First, the people face another crisis of water when they arrive at a place called Rephidim and they find nothing to drink. After the people complain, Hashem instructs Moshe to strike a rock and water miraculously flows out. Keep this episode in mind when we read the episode much later in the Torah, in the book of Bamidbar, of Hashem instructing Moshe to speak to a rock to produce water, and there he makes a critical error and strikes the rock, just like he has done in this chapter. Nevertheless, here, he is following the word of Hashem. In the second half of the chapter, the Torah introduces something completely new to the story, the nation of Amalek, who is hell-bent on exterminating the Israelites. Amalek represents the first hostile nation to attack the newly freed people, and they choose to attack the Israelites when they were most vulnerable, targeting the weak and stragglers at the back of the camp. In other words, this was not a conventional war between two organized armies. It was an opportunistic attack on a people who had just escaped slavery and were still finding their footing. Because of this, Amalek becomes a powerful symbol in the Torah and in later Jewish thought. The Torah commands the Jewish people to remember what Amalek did and not to forget it. Amalek represents a kind of hostility that seeks to undermine faith and morality, attacking not out of necessity or conflict over territory, but out of a desire to oppose the mission and values that the Jewish people represent. In the battle described in this chapter, Yehoshua leads the fighters on the ground, while Moshe stands on the hill above the battlefield. As long as Moshe's hands remain raised, the Israelites prevail. When his hands grow tired, Aharon and Hur support them, allowing the people to win the battle. The chapter therefore introduces two important themes that will echo throughout the rest of the Torah: the challenge of maintaining faith in difficult moments, and the emergence of Amalek as a lasting adversary and enemy in Jewish history. With that introduction in mind, let us turn to chapter 17, verse 1. Vayisu kol hadas b'nei Yisrael. All the community of Israel journeyed, mimidbar Sin, from the wilderness of Sin, l'masehem al pi Adonai, to their journeys from place to place, according to the word of Hashem. Vayachanu b'Refidim, and they encamped in Rephidim. Ve'ein mayim lishtos ha'am, but there was no water there for the people to drink. Verse 2, Vayarev ha'am in Moshe, the people contended with Moshe. Vayomer, and they said, Tnu lanu mayim v'nishter, give us water to drink. Vayomer lahem Moshe, and Moshe said to them, Matru v'nimadi, why do you contend with me? Matnasun Adonai, why are you testing Hashem? Verse 3, Vayitzma sham ha'am lamayim, but the people were thirsty there for water. Vayalen ha'am al Moshe, and the people complained against Moshe. Vayomer, and they said, Lama zeh ha'elisanu mimitzrayim, why did you bring us up out of Egypt? Lahamis osi, to kill me, ve'es banai, and my children, ve'es miknai batzama, and my livestock through thirst. Verse 4, Vayitzak Moshe el Adonai lemor, Moshe cried out to Hashem, saying, Ma e'eseh la'am hazeh, what shall I do for this people? Od ma'atus kaluni, another moment and they will stone me. Verse 5, Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, Hashem said to Moshe, Avor lifnei ha'am, pass before the people, v'kach itcha miziknei Yisrael, and take with you some of the elders of Israel, umatacha asher hekisa bo'es hayaor, kach biadacha v'halachta, take the staff with which you struck the Nile in your hand, and go. Verse 6, Hineni omed lefanecha sham, behold, I shall stand before you there, al hatzur, by the rock, b'chorev, in Chorev, v'ikisa batzur, you shall strike the rock, v'yatsu mimenu mayim, and water will come out of it, v'shasa ha'am, and the people will drink. Vayas kain Moshe le'enei ziknei Yisrael, and that is what Moshe did before the eyes of the elders of Israel. Verse 7, Vayikra Shem hamakom Masa u'Meriva, and he named the place Masa and Meriva, al riv b'nei Yisrael, because of the contention of the children of Israel, v'al nasosam es Adonai lemor, and because of their test of Hashem, saying, Hayesh Adonai b'kirbeinu im ayin, is Hashem among us or not? Verse 8, Vayavo Amalek, then Amalek came, Vayilachem im Yisrael b'Refidim, and they battled Israel in Rephidim. Verse 9, Vayomer Moshe el Yehoshua, and Moshe said to Joshua, his second in command, B'char lanu anashim, choose men for us, v'tzei hilachem b'Amalek, and go out and do battle against Amalek. Machar, tomorrow, Anochi nitzav al rosh hakivah, I will stand on top of the hill, umatei ha'elohim biadi, with the staff of Hashem in my hand. Verse 10, Vayas Yehoshua ka'asher amaloi Moshe lihilachem ba'Amalek. Yehoshua did as Moshe said, to do battle with Amalek. Moshe, Aharon v'Chur alu rosh hagivah. While Moshe, Aharon, and Chur climbed to the top of the hill. Chur is the son of Moshe's sister Miriam and her husband Kalev. Verse 11, V'haya ka'asher yarim Moshe yado v'gava Yisrael. Whenever Moshe held his hand high, the Israelites prevailed. V'cha'asher yaniach yado v'gavar Amalek. But whenever he let his hand drop, the Amalekites prevailed. And the sources say that while he was holding his hands aloft, holding his staff upwards, the Jewish people would look at him and be galvanized and motivated to fight harder, and they would emerge victorious. Verse 12, Videi Moshe kvedim. Moshe's hands grew heavy, vayikru even, and they took a stone, vayasimu sachtav, vayeshev aleha, and they placed it underneath him, and he sat on it. V'Aharon v'Chur tamchu v'yadav. Aaron and Chur held up his hands, Mizeh echad u'mizeh echad, one on each side. Vayhi yadav emunah ad bo hashamesh. And he remained faithful with his hands until sunset. Verse 13, Vayachalosh Yehoshua es Amalek ve'es amo lefi charev. Yehoshua overcame Amalek and his people by the sword. Verse 14, Vayomer Adonai o Moshe, Hashem said to Moshe, Ksov zos zikaron b'sefer, write this as a memorial on a scroll, v'sim ba'oznei Yehoshua, and recite it in the ears of Yehoshua, Ki macho imche, I will surely erase es zecher Amalek, the memory of Amalek mitachas hashamayim, from under the heavens. Verse 15, Vayiven Moshe mizbeach, Moshe built an altar, Vayikra Shemot Adonai Nisi, and he called its name Adonai Nisi, which could either mean Hashem is my banner, because that's one meaning of the word nes, or it means Hashem is my miracle, for that is the other translation of the word nes. And finally, verse 16, bringing us to the end of Parshas Beshalach, Vayomer, and he said, Kiyad al Kesiyah, for the hand is on the throne of Hashem, Milchama l'Adonai b'Amalek, Hashem will be at war with Amalek, midor dor, from generation to generation. And that brings us to the end of chapter 17. In chapter 18, we will read the beginning of Parshas Yisro. Yisro is Moshe's father-in-law, and he is about to arrive at the Jewish camp, and he is about to arrive to join the Bnei Yisrael. And we will see that he makes some important contributions, despite the fact that he seems to be joining the story so late on. I look forward to learning that chapter with you. In the meantime, have a wonderful and meaningful day.